Hey, what's up, fantasy people? This is Tyler, Big Turd Ward, coming at you live from my garage. And this is the Fantasy Footballin' Show. Today's episode, the Week 8 Fantasy Footballin' on a budget. So this is the waiver wire show, ballin' on a budget because that's $100 fab for you, maybe. It is for us. And I'm going to assign a monetary value, an idea of what you should spend on these free agents. So, before I start off, I should say, hey, thank you so much to our 22nd subscriber. That happened like last week or something like that, maybe like 3 days ago, and that was amazing. Whoever you are, thank you so much. And to the rest of you guys, if you can like or don't like this video, that'd be great. And if you want to see more of this kind of stuff, please subscribe, because it is the most motivating thing in the world. I mean, I'm going to keep on doing this regardless, Jason and I, but, I really love seeing that, positive feedback is great. So thank you so much. First up, been talking about this guy for like 3 weeks or 4 weeks on this waiver show. Add to your IR. Gus Edwards. So this is running backs. 16 for 66, got a lot more work than people thought. Adam Schefter, it was reported that he said that he's going to start in all his leagues. And I was like, oh man, like that's great, but I hate him. I hate Adam Schefter. And because I've had Gus Edwards for a while now. And I was either him or, who was that, dude? Oh, I put Brandon Cooks. And of course, because I was like, oh, dude, the Raiders give us so many points to wide receivers. Brandon Cooks is going to get something. And I don't know, I could get a 0 with Gus Bus, potentially. I went for the higher floor person. Gus Bus, 16 for 66, 2 touchdowns, 1 target. Drake had 5 carries. Dude, Gus looked good. He took a day of rest today, but that is to be expected after, coming back from an injury, getting a lot of work. So I think he only was like on 30% of snaps. And so he was running the ball when he was in there. So you can look for him to get a lot more usage going forward. Hopefully the Ravens get their stuff figured out and start scoring more points. But hey, he produces in low-scoring games as well, so there you go. I'd spend all your fab on Gus Edwards. I mean, seriously, dude. You got who knows, if Dobbins has even come back this season. I mean, he was getting his knee cleaned up. He could come back, in 5 or 6 weeks, and it could still be, tight or whatever. So I'd spend a lot of money on that. Next up, pour one out for Breece Hall. Breece Hall owners. He's out for the year. At least he got you, 15 points before he left? I started Denver defense. Okay. So Michael Carter is the next pickup. He's been producing. I mean, he only went 13 for 29. But if you look at the weeks before, he averages like 5 yards a carry, maybe plus. I owned him last year. He was awesome. So if you see him on this improved Jets team, I mean, he's going to be a flex going forward. He's going to have some big games probably. He's a big play guy. And he's an amazing pass catcher. So, sucks that Zach Wilson is there for the pass catching stuff. But if they ever make a change or Zach Wilson ever goes down, he's going to be it's going to be maybe a low-end running back 2 at that point. So I'd spend $75 on Michael Carter. I think the person in our league dropped Michael Carter to pick up Isaiah Pacheco, who I traded for later on. So, I mean, a lot of people are dropping running backs, and then they're getting promoted. This is kind of a crazy time right now for fantasy football. So, 75 on him. Next up, Chuba Hubbard or Foreman, whichever way you want to go. It looks like you want to go Foreman right now because Hubbard got injured. And hey, man, Foreman got 15 for 118 against the Tampa Bay defense. Plus, he got 2 passes for 27 yards. Hubbard caught 2 passes, but he left early with the ankle. And Ron Rivera said that he could have returned if they needed him, but they didn't even need him against Tom Brady. So they were up by so much. Who saw that game coming? I will own this, I said don't even worry about picking up Hubbard and Foreman. I saw a 50-50 split on a terrible, terrible team in a terrible situation. But I was wrong. It happens all the time. Hopefully not that much. But yeah, hey, it happens. And but going forward, you have to learn from your mistakes. Put some money down on Hubbard and Foreman because it looks like they're worth owning going forward. I'd spend $40 probably on, either way. So I went from like saying don't own them to spend $40 on them. I know that sucks. But like at this point in the year, it's like you don't want to waste your waivers. There were just other options that were better, and you don't want to get involved in a timeshare on a team in that situation. But look at them; they're pulling stuff together. Good for them. We have to act on that and start adding their players. I mean, even DJ Moore responded, so there you go. Next up, Tyler Allgier. Yeah, if you look at his point, I mean, he gets around 10 points a game, man. And Cordell Patterson isn't any closer to coming back. And Damian Williams is continually getting injured. So it looks like Allgier is the dude to own for a terrible Falcons team. But guess what? They're going to run the ball regardless. So if you want like a flex that gets you around 10 points, 8 to 12 points maybe a week, Allgier, I think he got 11 in our half PPR league. So I think that's pretty good. $10 on him. And then I should have put this guy higher. I started talking to him about him. Isaiah Pacheco. I had an alert on him, like 3 weeks ago? Same exact size as Kareem Hunt, like literally, but with elite speed. And if you watch him run, man, he runs amazing too. So he went, Ian Rappaport, because I was pretty upset that it wasn't just the way it was reported was like, man, Isaiah Pacheco's the man. Just watch this. It's going to be all Isaiah Pacheco today. But no, and it didn't turn out that way. But, 8 for 43 against a 49ers team with a great run defense, I think that's amazing. Only problem is that they were up. It was, well, no, you know what? I think San Francisco was up by 14, and then they had to come back. So maybe Isaiah Pacheco is going to be a flex play, and then maybe a smash play when they play, somebody that they're just going to go up by 20 points on. Because they're just going to keep on running the ball with Isaiah Pacheco. The bye is coming up, and usually big changes come after buys. So maybe this was just like a teaser, like an appetizer to see what, to kind of give Isaiah Pacheco the starter's mindset, and then go into a bye, give him all the reps, and then hit the ground running, after the bye. So I still have really high hopes on Isaiah Pacheco. I'd spend $40 on him, dude. I don't care. If you have a chance at this guy, you should take it. I mean, even if it's 50-50, he may be worthless, he may be amazing, we already missed out on the Kenneth Walker. I already tried to trade for him 100 times. I didn't have enough fab for him, and then I couldn't trade for him. But at least I tried. At least you could say you tried. So there you go. Isaiah Pacheco, $40. And so but at the same time, he had 43 yards on 8 carries, which is really efficient. Hardman had 2 rushing touchdowns, and who am I trying to? CH had a rushing touchdown. So if one of those rushing touchdowns go to Pacheco, we're talking about this differently, okay? $40 on him. Next up, Latavius. Gordon, 8 for 24 and a touchdown. Gordon was 11 for 33. Looks like Boone is out. So it's just, you don't want any part of this team, but if you're desperate for running back, Latavius Murray is a running back to own. I'd spend $5 on him. And then, I don't know if people have been watching this. I mean, this is with my own eyeballs. Brian Robinson's not that great. I watched him last week. I watched him this week. And then I'm like, who is this other dude? This guy's amazing. Antonio Gibson comes in and blows the doors off of Brian Robinson. I don't know how long that Brian Robinson experience is going to last. But if they want to win some football games with Tyler Heineke in there, and maybe they're in it, I bet you there's a chance they change back to Antonio Robinson getting, 70% of the snaps or carries. And maybe with all this competition and losing his job, he turns it back on because, he's a huge, super fast athlete. His profile is, amazing. So $5 for Antonio Gibson. I would throw him on my bench if I had room and just see how it plays out over the next month. Because, how the running back situation is right now. So, anyways, that's it for the running backs. And then the whole Kyren Williams thing, I wouldn't pick him up now because I think they just said the 21 days away from even talking about him returning. Wide receivers, Wan'Dale Robinson. He's been #1 priority for them. He went 6 for 50, 8 targets, all in the first half. Then he limped off in the first half and never came back. So why am I telling you to pick up an injured wide receiver? It's because, man, 8 targets. And this is Bryant. This is a Brian Daboll rookie. They drafted him. Brian Daboll looks like he knows what he's doing. By the end of the year, I could see Wan'Dale Robinson being a great, 10 to 13 target type of person, which is ridiculous. And this guy's on the waivers right now. So he's worth taking a shot on. I'd probably spend, $10 on Wan'Dale. Nobody's really caring right now, especially after he limped off like that. Mecole Hardman, he's like literally the 4th option on this offense right now, but he's getting all the touchdowns. He's getting the gadget plays, the Tyreek Hill running plays. You could do worse, trying to get a flex option out there. So I think Mecole Hardman, I'd spend, $5-10 on him. So he's getting the touchdowns, and I think that's going to continue because they're not going to take those jet sweeps out of their offense. So even if Isaiah Pacheco becomes a thing, that's what I was just thinking right there, I don't think that Mecole Hardman's going to be going away anytime soon. So he needs touchdowns to help you, so he's at a low floor, but kind of a high ceiling guy now. Sitting on your waivers, not bad. So this is pretty interesting, this next guy. Marquise Goodwin. He's been around, this is his 10th year. He was really good for the 49ers for a while. He went around. I can't remember where else he was, but he's a good wide receiver. Super fast. DK Metcalf goes down in the first quarter. He does not need knee surgery, but who knows when he's coming back? Timetable unknown. So Marquise Goodwin, 5 for 67, 2 touchdowns, and man, you should have heard Pete Carroll talk about him. He was giving him all. He was just giving him everything. All the dues, I'm trying to think of like handing him roses, something like, there's some expression I'm trying to think of. But man, Pete Carroll likes this guy, and he's like, I don't know how old he is. I don't care how old he is. He's explosive. We're going to get him the ball. So it's crazy to think that, and Lockett was out there. He didn't do much, but hey, he's out there. It's crazy to think that you want like the 3rd wide receiver on a Geno Smith offense. But hey, man, he could be a really good flex going forward, maybe even more. So next, I'd probably only spend like $5 on Marquise Goodwin because it looks like he's going to be one of the top targets in that offense for the next 6 weeks, maybe. Peoples-Jones, 6 for 71. He's continually the #2 target in this offense, and now with Njoku going down, he could get a lot more targets. Him and Cooper get a big bump, and then plus we have Deshaun Watson coming back, a huge a-hole, but he is coming back. So I'd spend, $1 on Peoples-Jones. I don't think people are going to be paying attention to that. But just remember, Njoku went down, a lot of targets. He was their top target guy, so keep an eye on that. Zay Jones, 4 for 54. 10 targets again, man. So he tied for the team lead in targets. And Lawrence didn't throw a touchdown. So I know that people were all about Kirk in the beginning, but Zay Jones is stuck around. Zay Jones is maybe, Kirk's equal. So if you want to pick him up, I'm talking about a lot of flexes here, but that's what you're getting. So I think that he is good for flex. Again, spend like $1. Nobody really cares about him. Paris, why Kenneth Campbell? Everybody's like top waiver wire this week, I don't think so, dude, because they just benched Matt Ryan. So I don't know if you really want to waste it because, Alec Pierce was everybody's, honey 3 weeks ago. So who knows who this, I forget what his name is. Oh, man. I just read it. The new quarterback for the Colts. Who knows who he wants? I'm a Michael Pittman owner right now, and it sucks, dude. It sucks. But it is what it is. We'll see what happens. I'd say it can't be any worse, but I had so much hope after last week, dude. And now they just bench him. And I was telling Jason, it's like you got to boil Matt Ryan's arms, for 6 minutes just to get to al dente because he's got noodle arms. He didn't understand that. I don't think most people do. So Paris Gamble, I wouldn't mess with. Maybe next week. Yeah, might have to spend up for him, but I wouldn't wait. I probably wouldn't waste a bench spot for him right now. And then let's see. After that, we're moving on to tight ends. Dulcic, man, the rookie tight end for the Broncos. Again, he was on this last week's top tight end because he's a rookie, man. It's a big deal. And I was thinking that Russell Wilson really likes his rookies. Well, guess what? Brett Rippon really likes them too. 9 targets, tied for Sutton. Hey, man, if you can get a tight end that's like gonna tie for targets on a team, you should pick him up. And then I would spend $5 on Dulcich. Irv Smith Jr., $5 on him because he's going against Arizona this week, which means he's gonna get 20 points, and I'm not even kidding. Like, he's averaging 5 targets a game anyways. But, dude, he's going to get like 10 targets and 100 yards and a touchdown, or 80 yards and 2 touchdowns. Just watch. Arizona cannot defend tight ends. Just stream tight ends against Arizona. Evan Engram, $5. 23 targets over the last 3 games. He was on my preseason ads. He's been on my other stuff. Evan Ingram's really good for this offense. If they start throwing touchdowns, he's going to be, look out. He'll be like a top 10 tight end, no problem. Cade Otton, 4 for 64, second on team versus, just watch wide receiver health going forward with Tampa Bay, because he seems to be really liking this tight end. Not really a lot of, no touchdowns yet, because you know how he loved the tight ends in the red zone. But maybe that's just a trust issue. We'll see. But Cade Otton's a name worth throwing out there. And then Harrison Bryant, Njoku missing the next 2 to 5 weeks, so that's a backup tight end for the Browns, and he caught like he got some yards. I think he got like 4 targets after he went out, so he is there next up in line. So if you want to take just get a couple, get it like a tight end that's going to get 7 targets a game for the next couple weeks, pick him up. And then I've got one QB on here, Daniel Jones. So Daniel Jones has Seattle next, then Houston, Detroit, and then some bad matchups. And then during the playoffs, he's got Washington, Minnesota, and Indianapolis. So he's probably gonna be on some championship teams. It's just crazy. No, he's not. He's got to get picked up to be on that. But dude, quarterbacks suck so bad this year, dude. It's crazy. Even Tua, this last thing, started off so well, scoreless second half. And Daniel Jones, guess what? Has more rushing yards than Najee Harris. So he's getting a high floor, like what, 12 points is your floor, which sounds lame, but dude, if you've been riding my quarterback roller coaster this year, that doesn't sound too bad. And so yeah, I mean, a rushing quarterback. Brian Daboll's going to get this guy better and better and better. My number 1 wide receiver pickup was Wan'Dale Robinson. I think that was his name. Yeah. So I mean, you could pick those 2 people up off of waivers and stack them for the rest of the year almost. I mean, the way the things are working out right now with quarterbacks and everything. So again, that's it right now. Thank you so much for watching. It's amazing talking to you guys. Thumbs down if you want to. Thumbs up if you want to. And please subscribe if you like it. So, because that's just the best feeling in the world right now. Kind of is. Top 3 at least. Anyways, I'll talk to you guys later. I don't know. I'm recording this before our Monday night, or our review of Sunday games, but we'll see when this comes out. It'll be out by Tuesday morning for waivers. Maybe on Monday night. We'll check it out. Later.